Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's MasterAquatics and I'm just bringing you guys another video. So I'm back on Reddit and I'm going to be reacting to a few things, and there's a lot of good stuff on this subreddit right here. So I'm back to shitty aquariums and there's a few tabs here, you know, hot, new, rising, controversial, and then top. So I go to top and it says links from and I put all time. So I haven't been through a lot of these. I only been through one and I was like, I gotta stop. This is gold. I gotta start recording and I gotta start reacting to some of these things. The first one that I want to show you guys is this right here. This is a GIF and it's a little turtle and he's riding an arowana. I mean, how cute is that? This is the funniest thing that I've ever seen, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It's beautiful. I love it. All right, now let's go back because I know there's a lot of cool things here that we can also look at. So this one here says, that's not the effect of the flash. The water really is that black, and there are larger fish than this in there. I've reported it to the RSPCA months ago and nothing happened. What should I do? Well, let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, shit. Literally shit everywhere. Shit here, shit there, pee there, pee there. These fish are swimming in their own shit. Can you guys believe that? Like, that is disgusting. There's not 3 fish in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 that we can see with the naked eye with this photo. If we were there, I'm pretty sure there would be a few more in there. The only good thing that I can say about this picture is that those are some beautiful koi fish. Those are some beautiful, amazing looking kois. They're shiny, they're bright. My question is, how are they still alive in such foul water? That water is unbelievably disgusting and polluted. They are literally swimming in their own feces and urine, and they're breathing it all in. It's going through their gills. They're just living in that stuff, and they're continuing day by day to produce more and more and more and more and more and more and more waste. That's like if you were trapped in a porta potty for months and months and months and months and months, and you were living in your own doo-doo and pee-pee, and yeah, you would have died, homie. You would have died the first 3 days. These fish, they gangsta fish. They toughed it out. They look like they're still willing to stick around. I guess, I don't know. I guess fish just don't really care, and obviously the owner doesn't care that they are in that nasty, disgusting water. Or maybe I'm just assuming things. Maybe he stuck his hand in there and moved the gravel around. Maybe he was getting ready to do a water change and he took a picture and he was like, alright guys, this is the before picture. After I clean this tank, I would take an after picture. Maybe? What do you guys think? Am I wrong? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe we're just too quick to assume and judge. Nah, who are we kidding? You know, this guy, he was trying to sell his tank on Craigslist. That's what happens. You know, they get too lazy. They stop caring for their fish and they're like, yo, click, 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 click. I'm gonna take a picture with the tank just the way it looks. I'm not even gonna try to clean it up before I sell it. I'm just gonna let people know that these fish are in a desperate need of a new home because I cannot take care of these fish anymore. And that's that. Let's just check out some of the replies here. And somebody said, holy sh, is this at a store or something, or in somebody's home? Okay, so it says here, according to Slightly Simeon, he says, it's at my local Chinese restaurant. I think I'm going to offer to do water changes for him to sort it out and then keep up the maintenance for a small fee. Either that or I'll offer to take it off his hands. That would be ideal, but I doubt he'd go for that. I can't leave the poor fish to suffer like this any longer. I gotta make room for a little bit of sympathy on the owner's part because he owns a restaurant. It's not like he bought a tank and put it in his house and then just eventually just stopped giving a crap about it. He put it in this restaurant, and like most Asian restaurants, they like to put aquariums in there because, you know, that's part of their culture. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, I think they feel like that just brings in more customers and it makes their restaurant look more authentic and appealing. And I'm just gonna assume that, you know, during this time, he was just too busy with the restaurant to be able to do a water change for it. That's just my thought after reading that comment. But, you know, poor koi fish. I really hope that there was a happy ending to this and that something good came out of all of this, because, you know, looking at these fish and just seeing them like that just really hurts me. Tell me what you guys think. What would you guys have done? Would you guys have tried to take these fish from the owner? Would you have offered a water change? Would you have done anything? Would you have said anything to the owner? You know, a lot of people probably would have just thought to themselves like, that's an ugly looking fish tank, but they probably wouldn't have said anything to the owner. Me, I would have offered to do a free water change just from, you know, the bottom of my heart, just because I love fish and I love seeing them, you know, thriving and being healthy, and I just want the best life for, you know, for fish, because, you know, I love fish. That's just me. This one here is just the sad face. That's a big goldfish party that they got going on in there. You know, this sort of reminds me of, like, you know, before they slaughter the chickens, they have them all cramped up and cooped up in a little barn where they're like literally stepping over each other, and they're walking over each other, and they're just sitting around in their own filth before they die and get processed into food for consumptions for us humans. That's what these goldfish are. That's what they remind me. I guess these are feeder goldfish, so, you know, it's sad, you know, these goldfish, they're brought into this world just to be killed and crammed into unsuitable tank conditions. But, you know, when you breed feeder fish, you know, in large quantities, and you know that they're going to be killed anyways, you don't value their life as much, and you don't make the necessary extra time to make sure that, you know, that they have the best living conditions before they're dead. You know, because most people, especially people that are breeding these and selling these wholesale to pet stores, they don't care, because they don't have time to care, they don't have the resources to care. You know, the way they look at it is, hey, they need to move these fish, they're really easy to breathe, they foul up the water easily, they're gonna die anyways, there's no point in making sure that their water is pristine and clean. They're just gonna hope that the pet store that they send them to is going to do a really good job and try to maintain their health for the time being until they are sold to be fed to other people's fish. But it hurts me, you know, but what can we do? It's not like we can go in there and buy every single fish and save these fish. Each one of these goldfish requires a tank that's 55 gallon and up. You know, if we really want to make sure that they thrive and live to the best living conditions for their life, you guys ever heard the saying, you can't help everybody? Well, you can't help every goldfish. It's just sad. That's just the world that we live in. You know, what can we do? So this one here says expert fish keeping advice. So let's go ahead and check that out. So we got 2 betas, and they're living in a jar. It says here, this is what happens when Blank and I go to town shopping. Fish. And then someone put here, their memory span is so short, they don't realize they are in a small area. The sights are new every few seconds for them. I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this right now will disagree with this. Alright, so this one here says 55 gallons is enough for 2 arowanas and 4 blood parrots, right? No, it's definitely not enough for 2 arowanas and 4 blood parrots. It's definitely not enough for just 2 arowanas without the blood parrots. You might be okay with just the blood parrots minus the 2 arowanas, but eventually those arowanas are going to go crazy in there and potentially crack your aquarium. Arowanas, dude, you need at least a minimum of 100 gallons for those guys, possibly more. I'm not an expert on keeping arowanas. The only knowledge that I have is based off the videos that I've seen from the King of DIY, and he keeps his in a 300. He used to keep his single arowana in a 300 and something gallon tank, and now he has them in a 2,000 gallon tank. But I know for sure that arowanas are not suitable for 55 gallon tanks. I mean, you can just see that, you know, based off of this picture. It's very obvious. It's very obvious that they're not, you know, happy in that 55 gallon tank. Well, maybe I wouldn't say they're not happy, but based off what we see, they're really not doing their best in life being crammed in that small tank. You know, they could barely move in that tank, especially with 2. Alright, so this one here says goldfish in bottles at school, half of them dead, other half gasping for air at the surface. What in the world? Okay, let's check this out. Oh jeez, oh no, where's the goldfish? I don't see no goldfish. This looks like a school project. Apparently this school doesn't care about oh, there's the dead goldfish right there. There's 1, there's 2. Yeah, I mean, goldfish can definitely not live in things like that. That's just not suitable at all for goldfish. But it looks like they were trying to do some aquaponics experiment with these goldfish that did not work out. So Maybe the students, I'm pretty sure each student had to do their own bottle with the goldfish. So obviously the ones with the dead goldfish are the ones that got the F's because they didn't do it right, and the ones with the goldfish that are alive are the ones that are gonna get A's and be very successful in life and have amazing jobs and amazing careers and be successful and make lots of money, be able to afford a house, afford a car, get married, and have their dream house and dream jobs, and just maybe one day become president, while the ones that have the dead goldfish are going to be bums, or maybe working at McDonald's. I don't know. What do you guys think? This one here says, I don't know why my Oscar killed my other fish starter pack. 9 convicts, 4 Oscars, a Jack Dempsey, a Pleco, an African clawed frog, and a Bursher. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with this tank. Those Oscars seem like they have plenty of room. Some of these people are like fish elitists times 100, and if you do something that's just slightly out of hand, they just go ape shit. Like, I don't understand. There's nothing wrong with this tank. This is kind of like the equivalent of my 125 gallon tank having the baby tarpon and the peacock and the baby largemouth bass. Eventually, yeah, they're gonna get big and they're gonna need a bigger tank, but for right now, you know, they're small and it's gonna take them years to get to the size, to the point where they need a much larger aquarium. But right now, you know, these fish should do okay. Water is a little cloudy, so I highly recommend they need to stay on top of their water changes a little bit more. So I'm not going to criticize this tank. It seems fine to me. And oh, actually, well, the only concern that I have really is just that big old pleco right there. I think we found the reason why the water might be a little cloudy, because that pleco is pooping up a storm in that aquarium. You guys do know when a pleco reaches a large size, they just stop eating algae and they're like, yo, I need some meat, I'm no longer a vegan, and they start demanding like regular food, and that's when they start pooping a lot. They poop like goldfish. Alright, this one here says Craigslist fine 30 gallons. So this is a perfect example of bad fish tank right here. Okay, you got 2 big old Oscars in this little tank right here in a 30-gallon tank. You couldn't even have 1 Oscar in there. Now the Oscars themselves seem to be doing fine. Are they comfortable? No. Are they happy? No. Are they doing okay? They're doing okay as far as just living, but as far as being comfortable and living their life as happy as they can be, no. This is not an ideal tank habitat for your Oscars. You know, Oscars, you want to put them in a 75-gallon tank and above. Actually, scratch that. You want to put them in like a 125-gallon tank and above. They get big, guys. You know, if you're new to the hobby and you just stumbled across an Oscar, you need to know. Yeah, you need to know. Oscars get big, like really big, and you can't put them in a 30-gallon, guys. It's just not right. It's not cool. Don't do it.